There we go. Okay, so let me invite to join Pam Jordan.
Hey, welcome. Welcome. There we go. I got her in here, guys. All right, so this is the esteemed Pam Jordan of YouTube.
I don't know about esteemed.
You're a veteran.
Yes.
You're working in the medical field and you love fragrance.
Yes.
What do you mean you don't know about esteemed? I know about esteemed.
Hi, Ruth.
Hey, Ruth. Welcome.
I see LaTanya. I see Lorraine. Hi, guys.
Jesus,
Hi,
look at all the
Heidi.
people popping in here. Pam, you're a celebrity. They're
I
not
don't know
coming
all
for
of
me. They're
that.
coming for you.
So Noel and I were just chatting up. Hey, Ken.
What's up, Ken? Welcome to the show.
I'm
It's a
gonna
very
switch.
impromptu show, but I felt like you guys should hear what she had to say. It's from the heart. I can tell. I listened
I'm
to her
gonna
speak
switch
about it.
my area. I'm gonna go to the front room where I have better lighting.
Hey, so I'm not actually familiar with what this person's real name is, but I see them in
Where
all
is
my
that?
things.
LaTanya.
The Tanya.
Skywalker.
Okay. Yes. And Lorraine, it's nice to meet you, Lorraine. Hello,
Skywalker is
Skywalker.
also a service member. Okay, I'm trying to get better lighting, guys. Give me a second.
Please, guys, bear with us. This is a very impromptu thing. I just kind of sprung this on her, but
Yeah,
she
you
has some
did.
great things to say about my fragrances, which is shocking. So I'm all ears for this.
So I think the best lighting is probably going to be my closet because I have here we go.
Oh, please let us know if there's any type of like visual problems going on with the connection or the connectivity. Thank you.
Yeah.
Give me 1 sec, Pam. I'm going to grab a bottle. I'll be right back. You can talk to the audience while I'm gone.
Okay, guys, I am in my famous closet. This is normally where I film, and I'm hoping that you guys can see us. So this is quite impromptu. Oh, my goodness. I just saw I ain't got no makeup on. Hi, Skywalker. Okay, Ken.
So you know I had to go grab this, right?
Yes.
So I'm actually going to spray this on camera so people can see just how I love these atomizers, right?
Uh-huh.
So this is Odin Sleep.
Nice.
I mean, like, it's beautiful. You can actually literally see it.
Oh, thanks, Ruth. Y'all know I don't come on camera without makeup and my whole doodad going on, but
Alrighty, so let's dive in. Since I just sprayed Odin Sleep. Hold up, I gotta do it again. Oh, it's like basking in glory. Oh, that was Odin Sleep. Oh, it feels so good. So you have Odin Sleep.
I do.
Let's hear your thoughts on Odin Sleep.
So, when I got the Odin Sleep, I sprayed it. I immediately like right off the bounce, right? And we're gonna talk some more in depth about this tomorrow. But right off the bat, I was in front of the car. I was in the car in front of UPS. Ripped open my box. The first thing that I laid eyes on was Odin Sleep. Like literally ripped open my box. That's why it looks so janky, in the picture. And and I sprayed it on, and then I looked over and I saw Cleopatra. I grabbed her, sprayed that on. And y'all heard me say this before. I don't have gut feelings. I have God feelings. So something just told me to smear them together. So I didn't rub them in. I just like brushed my hand on it. I sat in the car for approximately an hour and a half in the store sniffing my doggone arm.
Wow.
Sniff. And I was like, I started texting him and I was like, this smells so good. And I was prompted to create a video, which I did. But then I was like, you know what? Let me settle with this some more. And I'll talk about that process tomorrow a little bit. But it has a very interesting scent. Very, I don't know how to say it other than this. So remind yourself, normally when we talk about beast mode fragrances or fragrances that are really good, that last long, it has to project and stuff. This fragrance, I put it on my arm, guys. I came home. I'm in the car for an hour already, right? An hour and a half, I think it was. And because I left the parking lot at 8:30 and UPS closes at 7. That's how I know. And then got home.
Wow.
Made Nathan
So you
dinner.
really sat in the car for an hour, 30 minutes smelling Cleo.
Smelling both of them because they were on my arm. And
I would have given the credit to Odin Sleep, but I know Cleo's the one that kept you sitting there because Cleo has 30 different synthetics in it.
Right.
That's like pure chem lab aroma chemicals that are on. They're like molecular chemicals.
Right.
So like there's engineering going on in Cleopatra that doesn't exist in like your regular fragrances.
Correct.
But Cleopatra is meant to smell like metal. There's a metallic accord that I created in there, but it's in the middle. It's in the middle of the geranium, the rose, the sandalwood, the peppermint. There's a slight little string of metal in the middle of all of that.
I got the metal, and I told you that when we talked on Sunday. I'm not a big fan of metal, or like I don't know what it is. It's a tinge, but I got a little bit of it, not like over roof, Yeah,
no, it was hard to balance it for Cleopatra, but I'm glad that I did. Because if I would have done what I did with Iron Bend, so I have a fragrance called Iron Bend that was my first attempt at making something like hard metal. And Spartacus does it too. Spartacus and Iron Bend are very metallic, but Iron Bend uses lavender to achieve it, whereas Spartacus uses rose to achieve it. Both of those things have something in it that can be considered to give off a metallic nuance. Right. But Cleopatra actually has rose oxide, which is the part of the rose that is metal. So like if I have a rose, let's say this is rose, right? Inside of it, you have your rose oil, you have your rose oxide oil, and then you have some other constituents. Cleopatra actually has this by itself, rose oxide.
Right. And then the other components mixed in.
Yes.
So we were chatting, and I made a comment about how Cleopatra, because he was like, no, wear them by themselves. And I was like, oh, hell no.
She mixed them right out of the box, and I was like, wait, I can't learn from that. I can't learn anything if you do that. As a perfumer, I won't learn if they were mixed right out of the box. If you give me results back. It
projected and it stayed on the skin. So what I did is I did go ahead and I took a shower, and then I put on Odin Sleep on one arm, Cleopatra on the next arm. And that's normally how I test fragrances anyways, through sleep. I woke up the next morning and I could still smell Odin Sleep. Cleopatra had died down, but I could still smell Odin Sleep on my arm.
Odin Sleep made it through the night.
It did.
Did you guys hear that?
It did. But I would say that Odin Sleep truly isn't. I'm into Vikings, and you guys, I watch those type of TV shows. My husband and I are really into Nordic stuff and warriors, and we just watch some really interesting shows. And so one of the things that came to mind when I was thinking about that, it's like, and I shared that with him about it being sort of a earthy. It's not how I, as a woman, would want to smell.
Yes, Odin Sleep was originally intended for men.
If my husband was wearing that, I want to be like, originally, I love Odin. I love it originally, but the dry down, it really is, for me, I think it's how I would feel. I want to snuggle up to a guy who just, he just got out the shower. And, that's another thing. Clean smelling, but not aquatic. Not citrusy, not like it's doused down in lemon water or anything like that.
No,
it's really clean
I
and
stay away from
comforting.
citrus. I stay
Yeah,
away from
I'm
citrus.
telling you, your stuff. When I smell things, I like to use the word comforting because I like fragrances to do that, to give me put me in a comfortable space. I don't want to feel uncomfortable. I don't want to wear a fragrance and I'm clearly uncomfortable wearing it. So there are some others I tested out throughout the week, and I'm gonna definitely talk about those tomorrow as I let you, talk about, your process and how you came to like Shenxi and just, those, because I'm really excited to hear your process, and I think everybody else wants to hear your process of how you came to, number one, name your fragrances.
How you doing, Trinidad?
Hey, yeah, I think everyone wants to hear your process in terms of how you come to name them, because they can look at your Instagram stories and tell that you're into anime and all of that stuff, but there's a underlying, and not underlying in a negative way, underlying, thoughtful, dedicated process as to how he comes up with these names. He was talking, and I'm like, this sounds like, Vikings. So I'm like, hey, do you watch Vikings? And I
Of
started,
course.
because he was talking about the notes. Remember, you were talking about the notes. You didn't tell me what the
Yeah.
name was. And I said, that sounds Odin. That's what a warrior, a Viking warrior, they're going to Valhalla.
So see, like, she's my target audience. She's actually saying the words that I say when I talk about my fragrances in my head. But I know I have to translate those for like the audience.
Right.
Because if I say, Castle Black smells like I'm on the verge of death and I'm fighting for my life and the doom around me is setting in.
Right.
No one's gonna want to buy that. That sounds like something you wouldn't want to smell. But like, for me, I've always wanted to feel that feeling. It's like, as a man, I would have been at that castle, on the front of that castle, talking about, come and get me.
Right.
Right. I don't fear death. That's what Castle Black was all about.
And that's kind of like in the premise, like, so when you think about the wars that occurred, and I don't want to take this on a religious tilt, but when you think about the wars that occur, whether it's Moses marching his people out, you know that you're going to get to a point where you have to fight.
Well, so going on that, Spartacus became part of my line. Spartacus is actually what made me into the man I am today. Oh, wow. I used to be a stick of a guy. I haven't worked out in 4 years and I'm still this big. Wow. Like, I don't show this off on my Instagram much, but I'm doing it on this video since we're talking about wars and Vikings and warriors. Right. I haven't been to the gym in 4 years.
Wow.
I've been working on my businesses. I got us into a house. I had a daughter. I still haven't gone back. That's just how big I was before I stopped. But Spartacus inspired me to do all of that. Before Spartacus, I played Call of Duty.
Okay.
like I sat down, I ate nachos, and I played Call of Duty. And then I watched Spartacus, and I was like, I'm going in the gym. I'm gonna be a man. I'm gonna just get in there and lift everything I can. And so
your fragrances, though, Noel, it's very inspiring. Like I was sharing about how my daughter, the one I had on today, what her response was and stuff like that. It's not, and I keep going back to comfort, because with fragrances, a lot of times that's what we do. We go to the things that comfort us. We don't want things that make us uncomfortable. I don't care, what people say.
That for me personally, I'm ADHD. That's like, I'm severe ADHD probably. Even though I'm on medication and stuff, but it's like Odin sleep calms me every time I get a whiff of that. Every now and then I'll just put my nose in my shirt and then I'll do this. As soon as I smell Odin sleep, every single time, all the anxiety that I'm feeling in that moment goes away. Just instantly. And there's a girl that I just sent a package to. She has an autistic son. And she's an influencer on Instagram. But I found her because I looked up the hashtag I love peppermint. And when I sent that to her, she said she was going to smell this before she goes to sleep because she had severe anxiety. And I was like, what? I thought I was making that up when I talked about it, doing that to me, because nobody else was believing it. But now you, a woman with an autistic son, so you have a stressful life. because he's like 4 and he can't, he's nonverbal. So you can imagine how much
That's
she
a
must
lot.
deal with.
That's a lot.
She said, thank you for sending this to me. I'm gonna smell this before I go to sleep. So I was moved by that. And at that moment I was like, you know, I'm actually glad that I made these things because they can help someone else besides just me.
Correct.
And but the underlying thing, like you were saying about the history of it, is there's a profound, deep understanding of history with me.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes into war and battles and things, but it was always about there's a central idea, especially because I'm a Black perfumer, fighting for your freedom endlessly.
Right.
Spartacus was a slave that went from dirt to roses, like royal roses. That was how I made that fragrance.
Right.
Wallace fought to free Scotland. And he succeeded, but then eventually they had somebody turned him in and they executed him.
Right.
But that was his fight to free Scotland. It was all in the movie Braveheart. It's William Wallace. That's who that fragrance is. And so it's like, you know, and now the thing about Odin Sleep is I didn't want Odin to be the center of my line. I don't actually like Odin himself. I like what he stood for, or like the amount of power that comes with his name.
Right.
But Odin himself was never an influence for me.
Right.
But Odin Sleep, on the other hand, was. It's the time where Odin has to regain his powers. It's the time where he has to like recenter himself.
Right.
That's when Odin rests. And that's what Odin Sleep was. Because it's like through all the turmoil and chaos that we had in 2020, through all of those things that was going on, I couldn't turn the news on one day to the next. Right. It was a war between Biden. It was a war between Trump. It was a BLM. It was an anti-BLM. It was cops are this. Everything was just chaotic.
Right.
And I needed a moment where I could sleep, where I could recenter myself, where I could breathe.
Decompress, yeah.
And I had Odin Sleep for that. And that is where I got this, because in that moment, something spicy, something citrusy, something like cinnamon.
Too much.
It would have pissed me off. It would have angered me.
Right.
And I needed something that was cold. I needed something that felt like ice on my skin.
Mm-hmm.
And that was Odin Sleep slightly had that. But then I went a step further once I got my aroma chemicals and I ordered like all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I originally had like maybe 10 or 20, and then I ordered like before the year changed, I had like 200. Mm-hmm. By the time I had that, I made Primal. And Primal, when you spray it, your skin will actually freeze for like the next 15, 20 minutes. It doesn't even matter if it's the middle of summer. Your skin will be cold. And I chemically engineered it to do that by finding, and I mean, I studied menthol notes and mentholic notes to the point that I was sitting there reading science journals by people in India, people in Australia, people in New Zealand. I was reading the science journals to the point that I seen what they were actually doing with Mentha piperita on rats in fields. Like they actually used it to clear a field of mice in another country. And the reason why was because of some of the mentholic effects in it, causing the mice to have more activity. So they'd come up when they weren't supposed to and they'd leave.
Yes. So they have the same premise where when you have mentholated scents and stuff like that in hospitals and whatnot, it's supposed to do a clearing of the senses. Hey, Jessica.
Hey, Jessica.
Hey.
I was just talking about you earlier today.
And what exactly were you saying?
I said
she said I need to watch out for you, that you were gonna try to scam me. You know, she was prepping me. She said you were about to hit me up with some of that, like, you know, let me buy one, get two free.
Oh, okay. Well, I wish I knew what y'all were talking about, but can I get it?
Which one?
The buy one get two free.
Actually,
so I'm actually gonna be doing some specials. I'm actually gonna be doing some specials for Christmas. I was gonna do something for Black Friday, but I really don't feel like being a part of the whole Black Friday thing. I don't want to be your secondary choice. If you come at me for Christmas, that means that you wanted me as a gift. If you came at me for Black Friday, you might have made that as an impulsive buy. I don't want that. I don't want to attract that attention.
Okay.
I want genuine people to find my brand, especially because my last name is Noel. Like, my last name is literally Christmas. So I'm gonna have some deals and specials coming for that.
Okay.
Hey Latifah. So Latifah just got her order in the mail.
Okay.
Well,
I bet you Latifah made it home before she.
No, it's in the mail. It's in the mail.
Okay.
She hasn't got it yet. And there's a couple other things that I hope she talks about once they reach her. Okay. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna spill the beans. Just, it's coming. She's gonna be shocked.
So
she is going to be absolutely shocked.
So you guys know that if you look at Noel's Instagram page and you look down, you'll see like a lot of his history is in there of what happened recently with him and stuff like that. But he has, what was it we were talking about, a special going on, because his bottles aren't small bottles. His bottles are huge. They're 100 milliliter bottles. And the packaging, they're nice glass bottles. You can see what you're getting and whatnot. So if you're interested tomorrow, just make sure, if you're interested in whatnot, you can reach out to him. And the reason I brought up what happened with him is because his site, he's trying to get himself back up, so he still has to get a place, a house, and all of that good stuff that he lost.
Well, what actually happened is, so Hurricane Ida destroyed my house to the point that it's totaled, and I have to demolish it. And then once I demolish it, I can make money selling the lot.
Right.
And then if I sell the lot, I can get a house with the money that I sold the lot for.
Correct.
That's the only way that I'm going to have a house again. Other than that, I'd be in an apartment next. So
yeah, that's
our process at the moment. And we don't have enough to demolish the house because the insurance company still has us in litigation with them.
So that being said, what's going to happen is if you choose to purchase, whether it's the rollerball, whether it's a full bottle, or whether they're samples, which, he ships stuff fast, okay? Let me just put it that way. Ain't no 2, 3, 10 months waiting on nothing.
No, if that happens, I'm sending you another order. Literally, if that happens, I'm sending you another order.
Yeah. So, but it all has to be done via Venmo, which is how I did the payment, because the site, although he has a site, with everything else, funds has to be going somewhere else. So please keep that in mind, and we'll talk about it again tomorrow.
I currently take orders directly, but that's something that I think should be normalized in perfumery.
Yeah.
I'm not a brand representative. I'm not like a brand owner. I'm the perfumer and CEO of my brand.
Right.
There's no one else in my brand. So like, if you're paying me directly, you're actually paying the guy who sits here making this, coming up with the formula for this, designing this, making these stickers, putting them on the bottle, designing the packaging, ordering these supplies. I had to speak Chinese to get these bottles. I use Google Translate, of course. I can speak Mongolian. I can speak Mongolian. I can't speak Chinese.
Now, tell me about the packaging, the actual.
Do you still have your box?
Yeah, it's in the other room.
Okay.
So the packaging that you have, the bottle, has the design on it, which I actually really like, because it has it's almost like the biological,
Oh wait, hold on, Latifah. I can't tell you. I can't. You just gonna have to wait for the joy. And hopefully you share it with others, okay?
What's that?
I don't want to reveal it, because I plan to do the same thing for a lot of other people. You'll see. You will see, and I promise you, it might make you cry. I don't know, but it's coming.
So your packaging it's almost like when you have like the biological X and Y gene kind of thing on the front of it. Can you tell us a little bit about your packaging?
So this symbol is actually my represent. So I have a fragrance that I took out of the line, but I plan to secretly like slide it back in one day, whenever people least expect it. And they're like, there's something that I missed. Like, because at some point people are going to be familiar with my brand, and they'll be like, yeah, I've been through the whole house, man. You know, I'm one of them Harmony frag heads. I was with Harmony since day one, man. I know everything about Harmony, man. Look, I know Trill Noel. I got him on speed dial. I talk to that cat every other night. But then this other thing comes out that I didn't know about called X. And it's the fragrance that I took off the line. And it actually does what you guys do, what you guys love to do. Blends the fragrances. It blends 4 of them together. The central note from 4 of them is in this ingredient, is in this fragrance.
And that's X.
So X was something that the other name for it was going to be Gaia or Pangea. Pangea is when all the continents on Earth used to be together as one.
Right.
But I saw that as all of the chemicals on Earth would have been together as one as well. Like all of the elements, earth, fire, wind, water. So these 4 X's are earth, fire, wind, and water.
Got it. Okay.
And that's them working in harmony, in perfect balance, perfect symmetry. That's why the brand is called Harmony.
Okay.
It's where the 4 corners meet, the great divide where the 4 corners come together.
Okay. I think a lot of people would like that.
Now, the word harmony, because some people actually think that I just spelled it wrong on purpose. XAR is har. And in Mongolia, that means black. Whenever I got famous in Mongolia, I kept seeing that all the time. People would be like, har neg, Trill Noel, har hun. It literally means Trill Noel is a black guy.
Okay.
Like Trill Noel har hun ben. That means.
How long were you over there?
I never been to Mongolia. I got famous over there on the internet through social media. And then, because I can throat sing and I can do Mongolian music. So like.
Okay.
That's called humi. It's the Mongolian, it's a traditional Mongolian style from, I don't know, maybe thousands of years ago.
Okay.
And I've never been there, and I did it, and they don't know how I did it. They were shocked to see me doing it while singing some songs from their country too. Because there was a song that I sang, it was called Otrgana, and it was like and so like I performed that randomly on YouTube when I was going through like a terrible breakup. I mean a terrible breakup, to where like there was a child that I was a stepfather for involved. Heart was like broken. And so I performed that song with all my heart, you know. They saw it, and then the next thing I knew, I was on the news. They called me on Skype, had me perform on their news.
Oh, wow.
And a year later, I had like 50,000 followers. I performed like some of their music for my school. It just took off from there. But then Facebook deleted my account, and I lost everything. And then I took a hiatus from social media for like 2 years because of that. Because it was depressing. I lost like 10 years of my life on Facebook. All of those photos, all of those videos, everything got deleted. Oh, wow. And so like, that's why my house, it didn't depress me losing that, because I've already lost before in the past. Right. You know, it's like just continually losing everything. But I will never lose a business. That's something you just don't lose.
Right, right.
So that's where I'm at now, and that's what I've been focusing on. And I've always wanted to make my own brand since I was a child. Because I used to go in the store and I was like, you know, as a black guy, I want to be the guy in the suit holding a bottle of perfume that I made. Because back then everything was Tommy Hilfiger and Joe Malone, and like where's Michael Jordan's perfume? Like there was none of that. And I'm just like, why is the fragrance industry just a bunch of white guys in suits? Like, why can't that be me? And I thought that as a kid, you know, like it wasn't a thing about race or anything. It was just like, I honestly thought maybe it just hadn't been black guys that chose to jump into that field.
Right.
You know, and so it was like, as I started doing this, I started to realize it is true. There's not that many black people that pursue making their own perfume line, because a lot of them don't believe it'll ever happen. Because a lot of them don't believe people will trust in the black business over like some luxury brand The moment you say black-owned business, they think like, you know, you might have cut corners or you might have done things the way black people do things in the hood or something. I don't know. There's a stigma sometimes when it's a black business.
Right.
Because it's not the same. That means that they might work outside of the standards of what is normal. But when it comes to perfume, I actually work at standards that white businesses don't. There's people that I've talked to that don't know what IFRA regulations are.
Right.
IFRA regulations would make it to where your skin doesn't have a rash when you buy a fragrance.
Correct.
How many of you in this room have bought a fragrance and had a rash or a breakout before?
And not
that person didn't follow the IFRA standards.
Had a allergy reaction, allergic reaction. Don't even know that it's probably their fragrance that caused it. And it's not just fragrance. It's people talk about things being fragrance free. Oh, I'm fragrance free. I don't use skin lotion or face lotion, et cetera, et cetera. That's fragrance free.
Oh my God, we have 9 people in here right now.
Oh, cool.
We bumped up. I don't know what happened, but we have 9 people. Wow, thank you guys. If you got questions, please ask any questions.
Ask him questions if you have any
use
questions.
Use the little symbol down there. It's in a circle and it's a question mark. Click on it and ask a question. I'll answer anything you ask. And I think Pam will too.
I don't think I see, the last thing I see is Ruth that said Ruth, so I don't see a whole lot. But yeah, so we were talking about fragrance-free products. A lot of folks don't recognize that there are a lot of regulatory guidance that covers fragrances. And so sometimes when people say they make their own stuff, folks would question, well, what exactly does it comprise of? And are they really utilizing proper standards and et cetera, going through the IFRA? We don't know that for sure, but if a fragrance breaks you out, or if you're sneezing or having sneeze attacks, or you're scratching, or your ears start feeling a certain kind of way, it's a potential that it could be not the fragrance itself, it could be the fragrance combined with something else, can also give them that reaction.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Like, there's a stigma about Black brands and lots of things.
Yes.
I'm not my race isn't my brand. I just happen to. I'm Native American. I'm French. I actually have some Viking in me.
Right.
I think like 2% is Norwegian in me. But I'm 70% African American from West Africa.
Okay.
The rest of me, the other 30% is like 20 different things. I don't even know what they are. Some of them. But it's like, you know, my brand isn't a race. It's just an accomplishment that I tell myself that, you know, with the things that society has placed or has in place, there's not a network for Black perfumery. We don't have, like, you know, things that would donate money to that. Right. If you're a Black-owned business and you're doing something with sports, there's all kind of organizations that are just like, oh, we got you. We got a grant for you. But you say something like, oh, I make hair products. I make makeup. I make perfume. They're just like, oh, okay, that's cool. Call us back whenever you're making a shoe. Like you want to release a shoe? They're gonna help you out. Like if you're a Black person trying to release a shoe, you got. I literally kid you not. You can apply for like 20 different grants.
Oh wow,
it's ridiculous. It's literally ridiculous.
Tell me, how many years have you had your fragrance company?
So Xarmony started 4 months before the hurricane took my house out.
Oh wow.
I've only had it. I started it this year. Okay. I've been developing Xarmony as a concept since I was in college, but not as a like fragrance brand, but the word Xarmony. Mm-hmm. If you go on my YouTube channel, there's some old videos of my like digital engineering stuff where I did VFX, and there was a story of Xarmony, and it was a guy named Sagan Yang versus Har Yin. And the 2 brothers were fighting each other. And I was playing both brothers. And I did like CGI and special effects to make them interact with each other. But Xarmony as a brand, as a company, because I came up with that word and like coined it a long time ago. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
But I came up with the brand and used it for my perfume back in 2020. And then I actually registered my LLC 4 months ago.
Okay.
Or, well, 6 now. I'm sorry, I stopped counting when the hurricane hit my house, but it's been 6 months.
Okay.
So at the beginning of the summer, I registered Xarmony as an LLC. Then I launched and started selling things on Instagram. I had my first samples go through. I did my first invoices. And now we're here. And we're about to do our first Christmas run. We got a special going on. My large bottles, this is 100 milliliters. This will last you an entire year, probably 3 years. This is $200. So they're on sale right now. The original price is $275 for all of my Generation 1 scents. Cleopatra and Primal are not Generation 1, they're Generation 3. Generation 2 is currently being reworked. They're not available. But Generation 3 they're set in stone, they're available. They're $325.
Technically, you've had 3 iterations or three lines.
I've made 20 to date. I've made 26, 24, 26 fragrances.
Wow. When I called you today, you were in your lab.
Yes. Well, my makeshift lab.
This dude
I don't
works,
have
guys.
one here. So
Like,
look, wait, I'm gonna show you guys my lab. You're gonna laugh at this, okay? Like, because there's a bed in the middle of my lab, a beautiful pink bed. We're gonna go see my beautiful pink bed. So this is the lab, guys.
Oh wow, that's what I'm talking about.
And then over here, there's all the chemicals. They're inside. There's chemicals inside of this. There's chemicals in this box, chemicals in that box. And then there's the desk over here. So it's like that is my lab right now, my makeshift lab. Lab looks awful, but my ingredients are legit. Everything that I'm doing is legit. I only order from Perfumer's Apprentice, which has an extremely high standard for quality control. And other than that, I get all of my essential oils from like verified brands. So that's what we're dealing with right now.
So as a kid, you've always wanted to do perfumes, and because you studied digital engineering.
Yes, when I went to college, I started doing digital
engineering. Yes. So it's funny because your love for fragrances pulled you back out of what you had originally, the path that you took.
Yeah.
Cool.
I still do that. Like I made my website. So I never looked at my degree as my path. I looked at my degree as an education.
Okay.
And I wanted to be educated in technology and digital stuff because that's the age that we're in.
Right.
You know. Do we have any questions come through? No, we don't have any.
No questions. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Noel? Or you could save them for tomorrow.
No, it shows at the top. How many people does it show still watching for you?
8.
It shows 9 for me. So there's people in here. You guys ask questions. I love talking, and I wanna know what you think or what you've heard about Xarmony. What about the brand may interest you, or actually, better yet, if you have any questions about perfumes in general, like what ingredients go in them, how ingredients are picked, ask away, because I can answer all of that. That's the thing that I keep saying will set me apart from a lot of things that are in the community already. The only person that I see doing this is Shelter Perfumes.
Yes.
And there's another guy named Darren Allen Perfumes. Shout out to both of them. They are the perfumer and they are the brand owner. She heard of me from this isn't the person you told me about. Pam, so you've been telling other people about me, Pam.
I've just been posting stuff. I ain't say nothing.
Miss Lady CA, is that Miss Lady California?
Yes.
She said you've been telling her about me. So you out here
been posting. You've seen my post because I tagged you. I tag you in every single post that has.
No, she said you told her about me
on my Instagram.
All right, this says, do you have a discovery set? Oh, I have a discovery set. I have very many discovery sets. So I sent out 12 discovery sets this week alone, which is an accomplishment, and I'm probably going to get myself a plaque. for $5. I'm gonna buy myself a $5 plaque, and I'm gonna write 12 on it, and I'm gonna keep it on the wall. Because that's after I lost my house after the hurricane. That's big. First week back, 12 orders came in. I was shocked by that. You were very talented. I like your passion. Thank you so much, Ruth.
Ruth is also an artist. She's also a content creator. Ruth actually does hair, makeup, and she cooks. So.
Hey Ruth. Hold on. You shouldn't have told me that. Where is it? Where's my bottle of my Odin Sleep shampoo that I made? I made my own. I made my own shampoo. I did it with cocoa glucoside and was it Decanel, and citric acid, and I literally chemically made my own shampoo with Odin Sleep.
Cool. That's pretty cool.
Well, let me answer Lady Lioness's question. I do have discovery sets available. They come with 5 fragrances. I don't have a box on the side of me. Pam, would you mind going to grab your box and show them?
Let me show you guys the box.
I have them, but I have to like make it in front of you.
Yeah, so they're really cute. I think they're really cute anyways. And we're not going to be able to do a live tomorrow because we're going to be talking about everything today.
We didn't talk about any of the fragrances yet. That's the problem. I haven't said anything about any fragrance.
So guys, check this out.
People are just happy to hang out with us.
I know. Look, it's a little suitcase. Isn't that cute?
It's a suitcase. It's a journey around the world. You got to get it.
Yes.
So my fragrances, I have some that are geared towards women. And I mean, they are geared towards women, down to the chemical agreement with your skin and your pheromones. I actually know, as a guy, I had to study these things, what pheromones means to a woman.
Right.
Pheromones means a lot to you that I didn't know before this.
Right.
I didn't know that just me standing next to you could trigger your pheromones to go off from whenever they mix with mine. It could make a woman uncomfortable. I never knew that.
Yeah.
So whenever I started making perfumes, I looked into all of that stuff. So I have Diao Chan, Ianari, Walawa, Xingxi, Loki. These are the 5 fragrances that have been going psychotic with women. Like, every single one of them has had a fan favorite. Yes. Diao Chan and Xingxi are literally at the top of the list. Xingxi being far ahead of Diao Chan. Xingxi is, I'm the first person to get Xingxi, works at a chem lab. She literally she's a chemist with a PhD. Mm-hmm. She said this feels and smells like female empowerment. Had I not heard that, I would have never went with that. Well, she said that, and I was just like, I have to do that. Which one is best for a woman who loves smoky? Oh, Castle Black. Well, wait, smoky, rich, deep, masculine, or feminine? Because the most smokiest, richest, deepest fragrance I made is Castle Black. That fragrance is so dark that if you spray it on in the middle of the summer, you'll feel like it's nighttime in the winter. Like, it doesn't make it cold. I just mean like the gloominess of the being in the winter months, the depressive, cold winter months locked in the house. Right. That's how dark Castle Black can get. Like, that fragrance is super dark. The cedar in there mixed with a secret note of raspberry ketone. It's called raspberry ketone. You could look it up. It's in there, and it just makes this darkness that I was just like, ugh, you know? For me to wear, I think I heard about you from a post during the hurricane. Yes, Mr. Glenn shared Glenn from Mr. Cologne 76 he did a fundraiser for my family during that time, and I thank everybody that helped out with that. There's videos about it on my page somewhere and on my TikTok. But he came back after doing that because everybody was donating to our GoFundMe at that time, and then we used that to get ourselves. This house that I'm in right now isn't my house. This is someone else's house. Everything in here, that tree is ours. That's my mom got that tree, but everything else in here is for the other person. This isn't my stuff. So that's what we ended up getting ourselves into. And then while here, you know, Glenn figured we probably would need more. And he heard about the situation with the insurance company. So he auctioned off 3 of his perfumes and then sent us the proceeds. So like I ended up sending him some of my samples a while back. So you can definitely ask him about it or stay tuned. He will be doing a video on them at some point. He has a sample discovery set from me. So my discovery sets are $50. It comes with 5 of my fragrances. And it will be shipped to you extremely fast. And I want you guys to order before it reaches the Christmas rush. I don't want your packages to be stuck taking 3-4 weeks because there's so many Christmas packages coming in. So what I'm saying is get your orders in soon. If you wait until like December 10th, I'll send it out, but it may not reach you at the projected time because you know how it is during the Christmas time.
Right.
Let's see. There's more questions coming in. Which one loves Smoky Rich? For me to wear as a woman, for me to wear, I would like to know where you got your inspiration from for every fragrance. Okay, wait. Fragrances which you recommend for a woman that likes strong and sensual. Ooh. We got a lot of questions. Pam, would you mind reading the questions to me so I don't have to scroll down?
I can't see the question.
I had to cancel the trip. Wait, what is that? New Orleans for the first time. If you go to New Orleans, if you come down here, let me know. You could always swing by. I could always tell you, hey, we could always have lunch. Nah, you don't have to meet up with a stranger if that makes you uncomfortable. But, okay, so somebody asked about sensual. Xingxi is the definition of sensual. Xingxi is the sex fragrance. I am kidding you not. When I made it, I sprayed it on my wife, and nobody heard from me for the next 2 days. That's all I'm going to say on the matter. Then that was me. Now, whenever I sent it to other people, and they gave me their results, there's even a video on my TikTok, and I think it's somewhere on my Instagram. It was a black woman. I think she's in her 40s, maybe. She literally said, these fragrances are bedroom-only fragrances. My husband won't get off. My husband won't let me go. He won't. I can't keep him off of me, was what she described to me. I'm not going into specific details, but it basically was like, I can't keep him off of me. Xingxi has jasmine. No, wait, sorry. Xingxi has amber.
We're supposed to be talking about fragrances tomorrow. We got to save some.
I got to give him Xingxi, though. That's my #1 runner. I can't deny them that. Every woman deserves Xingxi at every moment of every day of every conversation. I'm so serious. Xingxi was meant for that. It's meant to empower a woman and make her feel strong. Xingxi was an actual pirate. She actually existed. She started out her life as a sex worker. She was like a geisha or a harem girl working at a brothel. The pirate king went into that brothel, did whatever they do in the brothel, decided to marry her and take her out of there, married her. So now she's married to the pirate king. He dies. She becomes pirate queen. She commanded 80,000 men in China. This is in the 1700s, where women had no rights. But she was the most powerful woman on the sea of China, to the point that the people in China had to ask her and beg her to stop raiding the oceans so they could get ports and trade coming in.
Wow.
So what happened next is they granted her amnesty, which means like she's not going to be accused of any crimes. She's scotch-free now. She come on land, we're not going to arrest her. She has a thing that proves we can't do this. So she stopped pirating after like 4 years, I think. She came back. They gave her a estate of land and a casino where she lived until she died at the age of 69. That was a woman that started out life as a sex worker.
Mm-hmm.
And look what her story led to. When I read that, I thought and I felt that if I was a woman, nothing could have been more powerful of a story for me than that. Because we are in the OnlyFans age right now. We're in the OnlyFans age. Every girl of this generation thinks or makes an OnlyFans.
Right.
Like some of them think about it and they're like, I'm not gonna do that. I don't want to do that to myself. I want to be that girl. Then there's other girls that empower themselves by doing it. So you have like a crisscross of mixed emotions. Some people support it. Some people think that it's, you know, bad for women. It's hard for me as a guy to even speak on that. But Ching Shi, I can speak on. That fragrance is meant to empower a woman, to tell her that her sex is her sex and that's her freedom.
Right.
And to let her feel sensual about herself. It's about self-love. That's what Ching Shi was. I had to like channel the ideology of, because I took women's gender studies, so I had to channel the ideology of everything I learned in women's gender studies when I made those fragrances. Because I was like, you know, as a girl, I don't need something that's just purely feminine. Right. I don't need something that literally, to me, that's stereotyping. It's like it has to be so feminine and girly that it makes me into a woman. No, I was like, Ching Shi ain't gonna do that. Ching Shi has amber, which is like woody, and then it has gunpowder. There's a gunpowder accord in Ching Shi.
The fragrance I think has that I know of right off the bat is Flower Bomb.
Flower Bomb
has a gunpowder note in there. That's the only one. But it smells nothing. I hate Flower Bomb. It smells nothing like Flower Bomb. And Flower Bomb, I think the reason I don't like it, remember I was telling you about sometimes when I said that fragrances give a certain reaction. I have a reaction with that fragrance. It just doesn't do it for me at all. And like it's very synthetic. I don't know what it is about it. No shade to other people who love it. It's just not for me. But Ching Shi, I will tell you that that one is one of my immediate favorites.
Yeah, so Pam told me that Ching Shi came off and it came across as so I had an inkling of an idea that she was gonna pick these 3 fragrances, which are from Japan and China. Right. Ian, Ching Shi, and Diao Chan. Now, she's going to host a live tomorrow where we'll talk about all of my fragrances that she has. So I'm going to save Diao Chan and Ian until tomorrow. But Sia is in the comments right now, like, going ham about Diao Chan and Ching Shi. So Sia's friend borrowed them one night. Like, literally came over and stole them from her. And she said her friend is still getting phone calls. The guys are still blowing her up from the night that she wore it. She went to the club with those fragrances on, and she had like 10 guys hit on it.
Oh, wow.
She actually came, and this is a stranger. So, like, you know, women don't just talk to some random stranger on your girlfriend's Instagram account.
Right.
Like, you're not about to just do that. Like, this is a guy on your girlfriend's Instagram account, and you're about to just voice talk to him. Girls don't do that, all right? So she came on a voice chat with me and said, there was a guy that came up to me, grabbed my hair, pulled it out of the way, sniffed my neck, and asked me, why do I smell so delicious? Whenever she wore my fragrance to the club. And I'm like, what? What? And I was like, wait, isn't that like harassment or something? Can you do that?
Actually, yeah. But you know, that fragrance, as well as the others that we'll talk about tomorrow, the elements that are in there, one of the things that I said was that I didn't really care for minty notes, but we'll talk some more in detail as to why that worked for you, or why it works, not worked, but works for you. So guys, I do have to run though. So thank you guys.
So Pam, thanks for dropping by. Pam's going to be dropping out. I'm going to stay here and chat with you ladies, and I'll actually be able to pay attention directly to you now, like one-on-one. But Pam is hosting a live tomorrow where we're going to go and do a full in-depth talk about her experiences with my brand. She had a sample set that was sent to her, and she also got an unreleased fragrance in her sample set that you guys will be able to hear about. If you tune in, you can find details on her Instagram account. And if you aren't following her, make sure you do. She's pretty awesome. And now that we're alone, I can look at what you guys have been asking. It seems like Sia is filling up my comment section. I love Sia to death. She's so awesome. She never gave me back my Diao Chan and Ching Shi. She is buying the full-size bottle. Oh, my God. Oh my God. So it's a good thing that I ordered some more of the chemicals to make that bottle, isn't it? Because I figured I'm going to be running out over the Christmas season. This is very informative for me. Thanks for sharing. I have to go. Everyone have a good night. Thank you for being here. And thank you for anybody who's still here. So now you can ask any question you had. Somebody earlier asked about my darker fragrances or like my smoky. So Odin Sleep is smoky and it can go to women, but Loki has been a female favorite and it's very smoky too. Both of them have a tobacco in the dry down, but it's not a rough, gritty tobacco. It's not like a male tobacco. It's more of like a intermediate unisex kind of thing. I'd say out of the 11 fragrances, well, I have 13 available right now. But out of the 11 from Generation 1, I want to say about 7 or 8 of them are unisex. Spartacus, I want to find a woman that loves Spartacus. I think that would be awesome if that happened, but it might be a pipe dream of mine. So I can't call Spartacus unisex. It's very like manly. Trill, I'd like to know where you get your inspiration. So, yeah, I saw that earlier, Latifah. Sorry I didn't get back to you in time. Getting some in Trinidad. Whoo! I don't even know how to ship to Trinidad. I could look into that, but it might be severely expensive, if it's even possible. There might be a way, but it will be a gamble. Like the package might not make it past customs. Your thought process throughout that journey. So each fragrance that I make comes from things that I've held dear in my life, things that have inspired me originally. And then I started making this concept of, so Odin Sleep was something that I've always been inspired by, like the concept of the most powerful being needing to rest. That makes it to where even the most powerful has a moment of weakness, which is something that we all have, and it's humbling of a concept. So I like that. Spartacus is something that inspired me to turn into this. I was literally like a skinny. I'm gonna post a picture tomorrow. You guys are gonna, if you're not following me, please follow me so you could just laugh at this picture, if anything. Don't care if you look at my fragrances, but I want you to see this photo so you can see what Spartacus meant to me. That I watched the show and it inspired me to become the man that I am today. Because I grew up with a single mom. So my life was a little different early on. What are the notes in Spartacus? I'm a bit of a rebel and I do enjoy some masculine fragrances. All right, so I did have one that I did mention called Iron Bend. And a woman liked that one early on, and that is my most masculine dark fragrance. It's all wood. Like it has like 4 types of wood in it. 4 different kinds of wood, but there's lavender on the top, which might be why she liked it. But Iron Bend is very earthy. It's very like strong, solid earth base. It was meant to be, if you ever type in the word Iron Bend, you'll see what the concept comes from. Spartacus has rose. It has an accord that I call like Roman Colosseum or like the Italian earth. When I went to Italy, I smelled Mount Vesuvius. I smelled the Roman Colosseum. And I remember those fragrances in my head. And I tried to recreate them when I made an accord. So that's what's listed on there. But it's rose. There's like some dirt. There's a little bit of peppermint in Spartacus, not very much. Those are like the 4 main accords. But each one of those accords breaks down in like 3 or 4 different notes. They are listed on my Instagram. If you type in Xarmony Perfumes, like I have a separate Instagram for my brand. There's nothing on it, just the fragrances that are available. So Spartacus is listed there. It's at Xarmony Perfumes. So do enjoy Woody Notes. I'm gonna hit you up tomorrow so we could talk. Definitely. So what I was gonna say, somebody asked me about my process. Sorry, Latifah, for keeping you waiting. So my process originally was things that meant a lot to me in history. And I did Odin Sleep, and from Odin Sleep I did Loki. And because I wanted an Odin Sleep that wasn't so mint. Some people just don't like mint notes. They're not used to it. It's not used in perfumery. Some of them, whenever they smell that, it's off-putting because it's not. No one else in perfumery uses mint notes. Like I challenge you to name 10 mint fragrances. Not things that have mint in it, but it's an actual mint fragrance. Like it's majority of the smell. there's like none. There's Roadster, there's Mint Fresh, Chanel Blue has a little bit. Somebody said Diptyque had mint in it. That's about it. My whole line is mint based. So I needed Loki because Odin Sleep was too strong for some people. But then I started this concept of pairs. Each one of my fragrances has something that goes with it, like a fragrance that matches its energy or its weight. La Boussée is a French pirate. Xingxi is a Chinese pirate, and she's a woman. He's a guy. Loki is the son of Odin's Sleep. Whenever we get to Ianari, I didn't make one for Ianari, but Diao Chan and Ianari are both purple and pink. Like, I didn't have a direct correlation between Ianari and Diao Chan, but the color of that fragrance in my head is purple and pink, so they synergize as well. And my brand just started this thing, and so we got Spartacus, who was a slave gladiator warrior that set 150,000 slaves free in Rome, started a rebellion, and then we get Wallace, who was in Scotland, has the movie Braveheart about him. He fought for the freedom of Scotland. And those two go together. So I had this little like back and forth play going on. Yes, no, a lot of people shy away from mint, and I do not know why, but I think it's because they never touched my stuff before. Nobody has done mint the way that I do mint. And I know that because I spent years studying this. Not years, I mean months. Sorry, I spent 2 years studying mint in detail, just mint every day, all day. Anything I made had mint in it. I tested it out with 1,000 different things. Like I would put mint with oud. That's my next fragrance that I'm working on now. I would put mint with neroli. Didn't like it. I would put mint over sandalwood. I would put mint over isoe super. I would put mint over beta pinene, alpha pinene, norlimbinol, every little ingredient that I could, so I could get a full understanding of that note. And then whenever I decided to use it, it's like walking. It's something that you just naturally understand now. So I went through that whole process. It's documented on my Reddit if anybody wants to see the authenticity of what I'm saying. Because I believe in being like, you know, true and fully authentic with what I talk about. And on Reddit, I've disclosed tons of conversations about what I do. So a lot of your inspiration comes from stories and history. So yeah, definitely. Well, Diao Chan, I'll take that back, not stories. It actually comes from like the real history. I think, I'm not sure how you use the word stories right there, but they're not, I use like actual history. La Boussée was an actual French pirate. Diao Chan was based on a woman. It's a name. They didn't have a name for the woman back then. They called her Diao Chan. But she was a woman that was in the court during the Han Dynasty between Dong Zhuo and Lu Bu. And Lu Bu was like the strongest man in Chinese history, period. And they had an affair or like a love triangle going on. And she was in the middle of it. Is there a brief story on your site that gives the story about the different fragrances? I would like to give my subbies a brief backstory for the fragrances. Yes. So there's actually a guide on my Instagram. And if you go to Xarmony.net, that's XARMONY.net. Each one of my fragrances, sorry, not each of them. There's like 4 of them that don't have a write-up yet. But Xingxi, Diao Chan, Odin Sleep, Loki, La Boussée, Cleopatra, Primal, they all have like write-ups right now. The other ones are on their way. Like I said, we lost our house, so I've just been trying to catch up on getting my family in something that's more sustainable, something that's more stable. Because right now we're not in our own house, and we have this for 7 more months at least. In that time, I have to figure out how I'm going to get us into another house. So I love oud and I love mint just generally. I can't say I have any mint fragrances, so your oud and mint is definitely something to look forward to. So oud mint is going to be a Generation 3 fragrance. It's going to be one of those things that are ridiculously powerful, ridiculously heavy. All of my fragrances, even though they're saying eau de parfum, have 20 to 33% concentration. At which point they're actually extrait. But I feel like marketing works better when you say eau de parfum than extrait. But I will always clarify when I talk to people or when I mention it on my website how strong my fragrances actually are. And they will last for a long time. If a fragrance doesn't last long, it's not part of my brand. I've made a ton of fragrances that are just in bottles. They didn't last long. I threw them. I didn't throw them, but they're just sitting there doing nothing now. Like, there was a guy that used to come by and check all my stuff out as I was making it. And he would just want to buy like every other little thing that I was like, nah, this one isn't making the cut. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. This is the best fragrance you ever made. You got to put this on the line, man. And then he was like, I'm going to buy it, you know? So, but I like my fragrances lasting more than 12 hours. Now, by lasting, I don't mean it's going to project for 12 hours. That's actually absolutely insane. If a fragrance does that, it's literally not, that's abnormal. My fragrances project to where you could be more than a foot away for about 6 to 8 hours. And within the first 4 hours, I mean, like, you could be all the way across the room still smelling it. Once it gets to the dry down and you're like at the 12-hour, 16-hour mark, it'll be like about that high off your skin. At 16 hours, Wallace, though, was like up here. Wallace is, I'm mad at Wallace. Like, I made it and I'm mad at Wallace. Like, because when I put it on and I wake up the next day, it's still like this much. A day later, like, Wallace is insane. I am very much a perfectionist when it comes to something that I'm selling and offering to other people. I can't like give them something that didn't make me happy. If it didn't make me happy, how's it supposed to make you happy? Now, that being said, I have a ridiculous level of what makes me happy. So it's like, that means my fragrances would be even further above the bar than just the normal average person. Who's still here with us? Is it just me and you? It says Latanya's in here. But it's me, Latifa, Latanya, and Jessica's still here. Okay. I have 3 people. All right. I didn't see if anybody had questions, but I'm definitely going to make a post where I talk about my sample sets. Because for some reason, some people didn't think that they were available or that I had them to begin with. It's like I've been selling samples for like months now. Yeah, it's been a while. Where you been? What you waiting on? Hit me up in my DMs, you know? But you're gonna have some stuff coming your way, Latifa, and I guarantee you're gonna love it. So I went through your stuff. What country are you from, or what nationality are you? Because I saw that you had what is it, Eid Mubarak? I'm definitely saying that wrong, but I will. I'm definitely gonna post about it more. I promise you guys. You're gonna see a lot of stuff. I probably should just upload a price list. But the thing about it is I haven't been trying to just like advertise and sell things. I want people to feel and grow with my brand. So for the most part, I've been getting into their hearts. I've been getting into like their minds. And then eventually they'll reach out and be like, hey man, what is this thing you're talking about? And whenever they reach out and they're in my inbox, I tell them that fragrance is this, 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 and that. And it's available for this. And they're like, I can buy it? And I'm like, yeah. You know, I don't know, but it makes it to where the people that gravitate towards me aren't the shoppers. Because there's some people, no offense to anyone hearing this, but Instagram has a lot of shoppers, a lot of reviewers, a lot of people that see people like Mr. Cologne and Joe Scents and Tammy Loves Fragrance. There's some people that see these people, and there's Claudia Nairi and Yellow Scents, Marshmallow. Just a bunch of people that I see all the time that are genuine, and they do this out of love and out of joy. Then there's other people that capitalize on it like as a job, or they see it as like a hobby that's expensive. It's not a love anymore. I'm a mix of Swahili and Omani. So I had friends from Oman. Have you ever heard of the song Aisha? Aisha. And there's a song called Abdul Khaladi. It's Abdel Kader. I know history of like every country. I know so much in like every other language. It's ridiculous. I know. Born and bred in Kenya. Oh, okay. So I have a fragrance called Busa and a fragrance called Primal that will definitely ring home with you. Busa is very Afrocentric. It's not necessarily from Africa, it's from Barbados. But Busa was a slave that arrived at Barbados at some point by coming from Africa. And I've moved that to Generation 2 fragrance, but it's actually available. I just haven't posted the photo showing like the notes. Like I said, I'm so behind on some things, but right now it's more important to get income for my family and get the business going to a point where I'm stable. Because I have 4 jobs and I don't like having that many. Because right now I need the time to rebuild. Perfumes X Daz. Hey Daz, what's up? So Daz just ordered her stuff. And I think it arrived at her house today, but she's not going to be back till Monday to get it. So she's got a little bundle of joy waiting for her. What do I know about Kenya? When it comes to Africa, the main things that I've studied and loved, aside from all the gods, was it the Anansi, the Anasi? It was like the spider trickster African god, and was it the Ashura kingdom? It was the African kingdom from a long time ago that was like very prestigious and very rich, and because I've considered making those into something. But I do know a lot about Hannibal. Hannibal is my favorite thing from Africa. Well, he's Carthage? But I think he's like from Africa originally. And his troops and everything was from Africa too. But no, I haven't studied Kenya directly. I've studied like things from Africa directly. I don't actually know like specific regions of Africa. I mean, I know the names of them. I mean, like I don't know the specific histories. Yes, Daz, I know you're excited. I hope that party went good for you. But whenever you get it, you should follow this woman, Latifah, right here, because she's gonna have the same thing. You guys will be able to talk about it. One of the things that I recommend for anybody getting my brand is to talk with someone else who's had it, not necessarily talk with me, because I'm gonna tell you stuff that'll make you love it more, and I might convince you to love it more, but you'll have a genuine conversation with someone else that's unbiased. You know, I try to be as unbiased as possible with my fragrances, but like I know after trying them and wearing them that some of them change and they grow on you. Like on day 1. I didn't like Castle Black or Iron Bend. I didn't like them, but Castle Black sold to 2 of my friends. They were like, I want this one. And I was like, okay, I could see why. And then I wore Castle Black one day in the cold. And I was like, I get it now. Castle Black can be something. I would never wear it ever, but I get it. You know, and then Iron Bend, I smelled it recently because I sent my first sample of Iron Bend out in like months. Nobody's asked for it. It's not one thing that I advertise much. And Wallace is the same, so is Spartacus. Because early on, those didn't get much attention and they weren't getting positive feedback. But what I was going to say is, so I put Iron Bend on me the other night and I was just sitting there like for 3 hours as I was making other samples, like saying, man, Iron Bend is kicking. Iron Bend is hitting hard tonight. What is this? Why is Iron Bend smelling good right now? And I'm like, oh yeah, some stuff happened in my life. Some things changed. Perspectives changed. You know, like I'm going through stuff. Life is heavy for me right now. So Iron Bend might be synergizing with those emotions that are in my mind or in my heart right now. But through all of that, Odin Sleep's been unchanged. Odin Sleep just does not change. It's there for me every day of the year. It's the same smell. It's just so perfect. Like, it don't matter what I'm going through, that fragrance will make me feel the same. I don't know what I did in that worked so good for me, but I hope and pray that other people enjoy it the same way. Anybody else have any questions? So for those of you that are still here, last thing, and I'll do Q&A if anybody has any other questions. And Latifah, seriously, ask anything that's on your mind, I'll answer it. These are $200 right now for all 11 of my fragrances, aside from Generation 3. Those two have a different price tag. But these are on sale for $200 right now. That's 100 milliliters. That should last you an entire year, an entire 3 years if you sprayed like a normal person. But if you're one of those people that think you have to spray like 1,000 times, this will last you 1 year at least. My fragrances probably should not be sprayed that much because they're ridiculously powerful. Just saying. Always. This has been awesome, Trill. Always enjoy your lives. What's my inspiration? So I just finished telling her my inspiration, Daz. A lot of my stuff is pulled through history. I love moments in history that represent something changing the course of history for the entire future of the world. You know, like these little moments that no one ever paid attention to that actually shaped so much of the world around us. You know, like when Spartacus started the slave rebellion in Rome, there's like generations of stuff that happened because of that. You know, like there's thousands of people that survived and lived and went on to make children because of that. That changes the entire shape of a nation. Like there's people with genetics and stuff that are there now that wouldn't have been there, that came up with ideas for things that would have never existed. That's good to know. I'm a heavy prayer, LOL. Got to get my little girls ready for bed now. You didn't tell me you have more than one, Latifah. You have more than one? That's amazing. You got to post a picture of them one day. Oh, a heavy sprayer. I thought she was saying I'm in heavy prayer. I was like, oh, yeah, okay. I didn't know it was time to pray. Like, okay. 5 and 2. My little girl's going to turn 2 in March. Yeah, so I can promise you, and I also have rollers for sale of all of these fragrances. They're $30 for a roller. The rollers, I just do this once. That's it. The whole day I'm smelling it. I actually prefer my rollers than the spray bottles. They just, I've been using them for like a year now, and I love them. I don't know why people don't. I think people don't use it in rollers because they don't have the same shelf life. But it's like, I only use like 3 of these, and they'll be gone before that shelf life is done. They work so much better. Anaya and Liana. I will drown myself. Oh my God. If you do that with my fragrances, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it the next day. You're probably going to pass out if you do that with my, I am so serious. Oh my God. Like Pam said that she sprayed Odin Sleep and Cleopatra together. And I was like my jaw dropped because I know what's in those. And I was like, Odin Sleep is a knockout. If your nose is sensitive and it works like, you know, like it did when you were a kid and you spray Odin Sleep, like that stuff can make a cat fall over. I'm serious. It's ridiculous. Yeah, but like, yeah, no, she's right. Whatever makes you happy, you know. But at the same time, if you spray it one time, I promise you, my fragrances will stay with you. I give you the Xarmony guarantee that they will stay with you, because they wouldn't exist if they didn't. Or if they couldn't give you that. LOL, I'm not. I was just thinking about it. No, you can. If you want to do that, go ahead. But I'm just saying, like, a lot of people do that because they're so used to brands letting them down, and like designer fragrances and stuff letting you down. It's because they cut corners. Like, they'll add ingredients to it to fill the bottle, or they'll use like a generic formula. My stuff is handmade and small batch made, so each one of those has like tremendous amount of care, attention, and love in it, you know? All right, lovely people. You have a good night, Latifah. Thanks for staying the whole time. I really appreciate that. She was down to ride for the whole live. And I know I can talk. I could go on forever, so LOL, I'm not. I was just thinking about it. Oh, wait, that's the same one I just read. Oh, Jessica, you're still in here. So did you want to hop back in now that Pam's not here and I could talk with you? If not, we'll just chat another time, or you can hit me up in my inbox. But everybody, follow everybody, and everybody have a good night. I'm going to head out to my phone's on like 15%, so I'm going to charge it if Jessica doesn't want to talk anymore. I'll wait like 30 seconds, see what's happening. I think there might be a little delay between communications. No problem. I'm okay with that. I'm going to go make myself something to eat. I'll probably upload a post talking about the discovery sets, because apparently a lot of people didn't know that they were available, which is good because I needed to prep for stock, and I did. So now I can tell people. But have a good night, everyone. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the interest and the curiosity that you've shown my brand. I really appreciate every ounce of it. I put my heart into this. I believe fully in what I'm doing, and I wish and pray that it becomes a huge success someday. So thank you guys for being a part of the journey, a part of this ride. I really appreciate it. I can't tell you enough. Have a good night, everyone. Oh, last but not least, if you want to help out, if you want to spread the word, share my stuff, share my content, share it to your story. I don't know. Do whatever you want, but let people know about it. Thank you.